resident, Mr. Joe Cho, just walked in. Does he have a comment or anything he wants to make? He lives in Beckett Ridge.
Did he miss the citizens' comment?
He just came.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did he come down?
So the board would have to make an exception.
Is it okay with the rest of the board if Mr. Ho gives a comment to us? He had come down to comment, but he missed the comment period. He can speak to us if we as a board say it's okay. We don't know, but he missed the comment period because you're right away. But the board has to agree to it. I think that would be fine, Mr. Ho, if you would like to give us.
Mr. Cho.
We'll make an exception just for the one. Are you here with Mr. Ho?
They just came in. That's all.
We don't usually do this. This is really rare. Let me ask the board. Mr. Lang, are you okay with letting this very small group speak who came down to address us, but unfortunately arrived too late for the citizens' comment?
I guess I would be sure.
We don't do this. This is extremely rare, but yes, we would be happy to hear from you. So if you'd like to get up and just give us your name and address and let us know what.
It's right here. You'll say your name and your address.
Hello, my name is In Chow. I live in 5981 Eagle Lake Drive, Wes Chester. The reason I'm here, actually I'm a diabetic and I lost my vision since '98, and it's been a while. But doctor really recommending do some lot of exercise, which means I need to do a lot of walking. But if I want to do some walk, I would really like to do some lot of walk through the township, like where I live. But they only have one side of the street of a sidewalk. I actually want to go up in the hill on Eagle Ridge, but there's no way I can cross that street because there's no sidewalk. Only sidewalk they have is I have to cross the street to get to the sidewalk. And I got hit by a car so many times because everybody's speeding through there, plus they don't even have a cross line, so I can cross the line, you know. And if there's possible, I wish they can make some sidewalk toward my side of the house. Instead, I have to go cross the street. I do understand there's a lot of money involved. So how about this? How about make some speed bump across the street from the alley to the street? Then people get used to it, they can always slow down. Or if that's not possible, they put a big cross line paint crossover, then they might pay attention every day. Even I got a red vest, like a construction vest. Even I put that one on, that don't mean nothing, you know. Even I got can on my hand to cross it. People don't care, they got speeding all the time. You might ask me why you want to cross the street. Because I want to make a living. I have to do exercise. Maybe I'm the only one live in that town to cross the street, but I've seen so many kids going back and forth to school. And you gotta cross the street to get to the high school there. I don't understand why town can put a big cross line or speed bump up there, or put some extra troop out there, catch some more speeding, you know, person. That's my opinion, I don't know. If there's a lot of money involved with the painting cross street, I'll be glad to donate whichever gallons the put on the street for painting over. I will buy that paint. Or if you guys don't have time, I will go out there painting myself. Thank you.
Sir, could you spell your name, please?
In-I-N, last name is Cho, C-H-O.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Deborah Bentley, and I reside at 6047 Eaglet Drive. And I'm here, very briefly, my 12-year-old daughter goes to Freedom, and she crosses Eagle Ridge every day to walk to school and when she comes home. And a lot of her friends have to cross that street as well when they come over to the house and play. And it scares me to death. And I pick my son up from the bus also right there. And there have been so many cars that have flown past there while the bus is stopped and there's lights flashing. And the cars continue to just fly by. I don't even pay attention. I think once they reach that roundabout, they just fly up that hill. And I worry about the safety of our kids. And that's all I had to say.
Thank you. There's a number of issues there. Mrs. Boyko, are there any you'd like to respond to, like crosswalks in the middle of the street, or?
I certainly would like to, certainly consider it to the concern for safety, but before I can give the board a detailed report on what options there may be to remedy some of these concerns, I'd like to be able to consult with the county engineer's office, because by law they are our traffic engineer, and anything that we construct, even if it's on a township road, they would need to advise us on what the correct construction and signage would be. So I certainly would like to do that. But I guess I just, as an aside, I just want to emphasize that even if the board directs and you do install some type of traffic safety measure, whether it be a crosswalk or whatever, that there's no guarantee that is going to be a safe crossing. We will do whatever is required by law in terms of signage and painting of the crosswalk and extending sidewalks if that's necessary, but there's no guarantee that is going to be a deemed safe crossing, and that there's still not a responsibility of the walker pedestrian to be very careful when they make that crossing. So I just wanted to share that, as that there's no granted benevolent safety just because you equip it with the correct engineered crosswalk or sidewalk. So if the board directs, I certainly can go and find out more information and bring that back to the board. And
well, we'd certainly, since we've had an expression of two people on that street with respect to safety, if you could confer with the engineer, I know I'd appreciate it. There are some other issues, though, with respect to children going to and from school. I believe by law that's a responsibility of the Lakota School District, and I know they are working on trying to determine safe ways for children to get to and from school. So perhaps that's an issue you would want to take up with Lakota School District as far as the safety of your children going to and from school.
I think the Lakota program is their safe routes to schools, and I think it only has been exacerbated because of the busing situation. And so I'm not so sure it's Lakota's responsibility to make sure that that the township is fully equipped with the appropriate sidewalks to make that.
No, I may have misunderstood, but I believe the school district is responsible for the children on their way to and from school.
I don't know if that's
I don't
true.
know. Could you ask our law director?
Well, if the majority of the board directs me, I can go get the information regarding the traffic engineering component of it.
May I state for the record that for over 2 years now, I have been approached by residents in that area. Some even come to my house, knock on my doors, particularly about that crossing the Eagle Ridge, because that's the only street they have to cross over to get on the sidewalk. And it is hazardous for the residents there. And Mr. Cho, I think he landed on the hood of a car at least once, and because of his poor vision. And I think it's time that we need to look at this to establish some sort of a crosswalk over Eagle Ridge.
When you say over it, are you speaking of a raised crosswalk?
No, just across, like a pedestrian crosswalk with 2 signs and a line across. So if we will find out.
I'm fine with.
That's a county road or a township road?
It's township road.
It's
Yeah, it is
township road.
coming down the hill.
Yeah,
But I
and the
think-
problem is not only speeding downhill, but uphill, it's worse going uphill, according to the police reports that I've seen, because I've been working on this issue for a while with no success, but it's actually the speeding is worse going uphill.
And with the safe route to school, there's more school children walking to school nowadays to have to cross over to get on a sidewalk.
So I'm hearing at least from
I'm supportive, and I think,
I don't mind doing
Mr.
some research on it.
I'm for it.
If you could confer with whoever you need to, the county engineer, our local police chief, whoever, and look at that area and see if there are ways we could make it safer. Some of the issues mentioned, we've tried before, like bumps, and ended up taking them out.
I would not recommend that we pursue
We end up pissing off more people than we help, and actually some of those people we're trying to help get upset after they have the speed bumps in the road as
There
well.
was a number of problems with the speed bumps, and I know our former Chief Deathridge came to us and said, look, he was really concerned that people they were transporting in ambulances that had back or head or other injuries were being further, there's potential of them being further injured trying to navigate those bumps. Plus the kids found it was a lot of fun to go across them really fast. So it kind of, the speed bumps didn't work for us.
Yeah.
So I'm sensing that there's not majority direction to...
Not for speed bumps.
Right, to refresh.
For safety.
That's what I was going to
And I
say.
actually thought that the roundabout did some
Was it
traffic
great?
calming there.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It is. And we've actually asked the engineer's office for some performance measurements, some updates of some data on that so that we could demonstrate that there has been, our perceptions have been realized. But again, if I may finish, is that there's no majority direction from the Board of Trustees to pursue speed humps or speed bumps, because I would not recommend that as an option. And I can refresh the data certainly if you want to see that, but we have had we've had no success in that infrastructure being applied in other like areas.
That's right.
But I'm sensing the board wants us to get some information on potentially a crosswalk or some pedestrian traffic
Sort of a
measure
general
for-
safety thing, because perhaps Greg Wilkins, who's an engineer, might think of something we haven't,
I can do that and
So-
report back to the board then.
We'd sure appreciate that. Thank you very much, Mrs. Boyko. Do we have anything else we'd like to bring up?
I have nothing.
No, I have nothing.
April 24th meeting, a few residents attended and voiced concerns about lack of a sanctioned crossing on Eagle Ridge at Eaglet Drive. The day after the trustee meeting, I did receive a letter from the Beckett Ridge Master Association requesting the board's consideration in installing a crosswalk. The Beckett Ridge Master Association cites with the reduction in the code of busing, more and more students are walking to school or catching rides, causing pedestrians to cross Eagle Ridge to access the existing sidewalk located on the west side. The board did direct me to present this information to you at this meeting and just regards how the board would like to proceed.
Did you?
I would like to make a motion that we proceed with this project. This is important for the safety of the residents.
As described by Mrs. Boyko. I'm leaning in the same direction because this is an issue of bystander safety. With more and more children walking to school, and the high school is so close to this location, I can see where it would perhaps improve the safety, although I think Mrs. Boyko is well spoken in saying that it doesn't absolve anybody of the responsibility of being careful when they cross. Mr. Wong, did you have any comments?
I'm leaning in the same direction as well. I would just, the first time we saw this was this evening. Normally we get information in advance. We did not. So I would just like to table it till the next meeting and bring it up then.
It's not a complex project. It's approximately $4,700.
Always understand consequences. I just have to think those through. I'm leaning towards supporting it, but 2 weeks it won't affect the timing of getting the project done.
Would you like to wait, Mr. Wong, or would you like to move ahead now?
I think we should just move on.
Okay, in the interest of safety, if this were a more complex project, I would agree with you, Mr. Lang. I think it's fairly straightforward. We have the funding available and allocated within our CERP contract.
I just think it's not a good precedent for us to make decisions without having time to think about the consequences. Normally we're well prepared way in advance, and we have not been on this one. I'm pretty sure I can support this, but with the first time seeing it, normally we have the information well in advance so we can study it, we can ask questions ahead of time. We got this information as we walked in the door tonight. Well, I don't see the harm in waiting 2 weeks.
I think you make a good point, but I think embedded in this project is also going out to discuss with the neighbors to notify them of what the township is looking at, because I think it's worthwhile. Within the scope of this project, the township staff plans to go out and notify the neighbors of the project and the scope. So certainly the neighbors will have an opportunity to comment on it at that time as we're going forward. And I'm sure they would probably bring up anything to our notice that we haven't already addressed.
I'd like to talk to the engineer to see what he thinks that it might do in terms of backing up the roundabout and any negative repercussions that comes as a result of that. This does not relieve the people, the pedestrians, from their liability. If I understand what Ms. Boyko said, they still have to be responsible for their own safety. So now we have cars that are used to having the right-of-way, and we're going to have pedestrians that think they have the right-of-way. And does this pose the opportunity for to increase accidents when our we're hoping to reduce accidents? Does it have the unintended consequence of actually reducing accidents through people not being prepared and through backing up of the roundabout? I don't know. These are all just things I'd like to explore. As I said, we just got this. Waiting 2 weeks, it's a simple decision. Waiting 2 weeks, I don't see the harm in that.
Thank you. Excuse me. Did you check with the engineer's office? Did you have anything you wanted to add, Ms.?
No, I think just that there is no, if the board so desires to have additional time to contemplate the information that was presented this evening, certainly there is no detriment. The contractor has approved that cost, and it is going to be the cost, so we'll not see an increase in cost if the decision is delayed for another 2 weeks. But just wanted to make sure the board's aware.
I'm concerned is that the school is still going on. There's a lot of residents crossing the road every day. And then we have residents living there who is almost blind, as you can hear Mr. Cho's testimony the other night. and that the school is still ongoing, and that I just hate to see someone get killed before we do anything backpedaling here. That this has been, they have asked this for over a year.
There was one other aspect of this project which wasn't brought up, and that was lighting. Are there any street lights near that corner? Because I know if we're talking about children going to school, high schoolers go to school while it's still dark in the wintertime. Do we have any street lights?
Yes, there are street lights, I believe,
There
on
are
Eagle
street
Ridge.
lights right there.
I believe so. But certainly that may be an issue that Mr. Lang, in terms of the safety of the roundabout, wanted to check, so.
Have we discussed any of this? Well, you did mention that you had discussed with the engineer going forward how it should be constructed and designed.
Yes,
Did they have any issues? Were they concerned about any traffic issues there? The engineer's office?
He did not specifically share any with me. However, if Trustee Lang feels that he needs to do his due diligence and request that information, I certainly would like for him to be able to have that opportunity.
I have no problems. My sense is that it wouldn't hold up actually the implementation of this all that long, since it's going to be done by the same contractor in the course of his curb work this spring. That's correct, isn't it?
I don't think it will slow down the implementation at all.
There would be no cost increase for the delay.
Correct.
Well, there is a cost increase. It'll just be absorbed into the current contract, but there is cost.
No, if the board decides to render a decision at its next meeting, then the cost of the $4,700 quote is still going to be preserved. It's just by waiting 2 weeks, you're not going to
There's
see
an
it.
additional cost.
Increase the cost. I misunderstood
Yeah.
what Mr. Wong was saying.
Mr. Wong, do you have a problem waiting 2 weeks, and we'll vote next meeting?
I think we should go forward.
Okay, I have to tell you.
It's very simple.
Yeah, like I said before, if this were a complex project, I would have concerns. I don't think if we vote to go forward, that stops you. If you have issues that you think haven't been brought up and discussed, I think you should go ahead and bring them up with staff or...
I agree with you. It doesn't seem like a complex issue, but with us just having this, none of us have time to even consider it. And I just don't see the harm in waiting 2 weeks. It's not going to slow the project down by 1 second. Assuming we approve this, the project will still get done on the same time, and whether we wait 2 weeks or not. This will not increase the project. It will not increase safety in the interim until the project is done, assuming this project can increase safety. And it'll give us all the time to make what I think would be a more intelligent decision.
Well, the engineer done the study.
I'm not seeing a report from the engineer.
We have consulted Butler County engineer, and that
Did you consult the engineer?
Yes, we did.
Who did you talk to this?
Tim Frank spoke with Matt Loeffler, and I talked to Greg directly, just to give the design. This design is from them. It's not the township, since they're our traffic engineer. This is their recommendation.
So they just made the design. They've not talked about if the project makes sense or not.
Well, I believe that he said that there is some benefit to it, yes.
Okay.
The county engineer's office did indicate that there would be some benefit in making that connection between Eaglet and across Eagle Ridge.
Okay. I'm still where I'm at. I'd like to hold off 2 weeks.
Okay.
It won't affect one thing.
And you'd still like to move forward
I
with
think
it?
we should move forward. This is not U.S. Congress. Get nothing done.
Yeah.
This is just a small matter that there's no reason to really stall it. So
This is like U.S. Congress. Let's just spend more money without taking the time to truly vet the progress or the project.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Wong. I just don't see the complexity here that would require more discussion. We've conferred with the Butler County engineer and their engineers on it. They don't have a problem with it. In fact, see some benefit to it. And I can't see delaying it this way, or the contractor can get his people and his timing in line earlier to move forward on it. So with that, do we have anything else we'd like to add to the discussion? Have we already made a motion, or do we need to make a motion at
No,
this
we've only
time?
made a motion. We've not seconded it.
Okay, then I'll second the motion. Any more discussion? Mr. Jones, if you'll call the roll.
Mrs. Stoker?
Yes?
Mr. Wong?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
I will abstain.
Thank you.